So Naji, today's topic is Samskaras.
Samskaras. Sanskar is the greatest hurdle in human life. Human beings want peace, pleasure, rather bliss. But the great obstacle in achieving this is human sanskar. What is sanskar? Human beings are all the time busy in work, in action. And their action is always directed towards some gain. Otherwise, human beings will do no action at all. But they act for gain. This is the human nature, number one. Number two, without action, human beings cannot live. If they give up doing action, their life will be shortened. Rather, they will lose their balance of mind. In order to keep mind intact, they do action. They do action. Before doing practical action, they think. Thinking is also an action. Number one. Number two, thinking has two dimensions. One person can thinks good, better, and best of others, best of himself also. And the second aspect is one can think evil and bad of others, or if not of others, he thinks bad, because he may believe that doing something bad will bring ready results, and doing good will bring results, but after long. That is his mind is misguided, and his mind is under the sway of Prakriti. Prakriti is the natural force. It is called Maya also. The moment he starts doing an action or thinking, his vibration travels, thinking travels. Simultaneously, from that very point, its reaction also starts. You know scientific law. To every action there is equal and opposite reaction. It is natural. So if a person does good action, his reaction will also be good. It will bring good result. And if he does some action, bad action, its result will also be bad. And both action and reaction, they are formed at one time. This reaction deposits in the mind, in the memory, wherever thinking remains in his practical life. If he goes on doing whatsoever action he is doing for a long time, the reaction is also for the long time. This reaction deposits in the mind, in the memory, and say perceptions or conceptions, and he leads the life in this way. The actions have been divided into two parts. In Sanskrit they are called, in English they are both actions. Action is the same, no doubt. But in Sanskrit, the name to the action has been given as Kriya and Karma. Kriya means any action, any type of action, good or bad. It is Kriya. But the action, when it is directed towards goodness, it is called Karma. Kriya, any type of action. And Karma is always directed, Kriya is directed towards goodness, welfare of himself, of others as well. That is called Karma. Karma has a reaction. This reaction, ultimately you have to experience its result also one day. Suppose that you are in anger, and at some time you had anger against a dog. Dog was barking, he was coming to harm you, and you gave a stroke and killed him. Dog didn't want to get killed. It was killed and died of pain. Reaction is also the same. It remains painful in your mind and will continue. Nature has made this universe under certain rules. To every action there is equal and opposite reaction. That reaction you have to experience. Until and unless you experience that reaction or that reaction, your life will continue to undergo birth and death. Until and unless that experience is experienced by you. Now that living reaction which is deposited in your mind at the time of action, that reaction is called sanskar. That reaction is full of potential. It doesn't die until and unless you have experienced it. Then alone it will die. So the problem of life of a human being is actuated with pleasure and pain. It is according to the sanskar. The first action which you do is called first action. And the second action, sometimes you undergo the sanskar that is without your awakefulness. Suppose I am going to bathroom and there is a hurdle on the way. Unconsciously, my foot hit against it. It is called thokar. It gave me pain to the fingers of my... I didn't expect it. Nor did I want it. So this action is a reaction to that, my action. I have experienced that pain. Maybe this pain which I am experiencing is less than the pain underwent by the dog. But you will have to take the same amount of pain as long as you are living. So this type of experience may occur second time, may occur third time, fourth time, fifth, or in some other way. You may feel that pain. That total pain, until and unless that pain is experienced, you will have to undergo the pain in full. Baba has said, if the time, if the circumstances, if the time, place and person remains the same, doesn't change, then the reaction also doesn't change or that doesn't expand. But if it remains for longer time, it may earn some interest also. You understand? So this sanskar you have to undergo. For that reason, you shall have to always plan your action. Your thinking should be pure. Your aim of action should be pure. Your knowledge should be pure. And if your mind is pure, your reactions will always be pure. Your actions will always be pure. And your suffering will not be there. But if it is impure in the sense, knowingly or unknowingly even, you shall have to face that reaction. That reaction is known as sanskar. So every human being, when does some action, he must do the action consciously, and he must do the action in good sense, never for bad sense. Otherwise, pleasure and pain, they will go on in being experienced by you. Now this pleasure and pain is the difficulty of human life. When human beings are in pleasure, they dance, they feel pleasure, they do good things, they dance, they sing, they do everything. But in that case, they don't remember where from that pleasure is coming. And when you face the pain which comes because of your liking, that pain is very painful. So human life is a mixture of pleasure and pain. In order the human being have to experience the good life, they must do actions properly planned and always for the welfare of others as well as one's own self also. Now you have understood the sanskar. Sanskar is the reaction of action.
One thing I don't understand, when you live as a human, you will take action. So you will always keep creating new samskaras. There's no way to stop creating new samskaras, right?
Yes. Whenever throughout the life you have to do one action, another action, thousands of actions. Exactly. Thousands of works you are doing. Just as a laborer is doing his action for earning money. Doing action is a natural process and is also compulsory for a human being to do it.
So how can you ever run out of samskaras?
You have, of course. This is a very big question. I have to make you understand this. Lord Krishna said also, Karmanyadkaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karam phal hetur bhuma te. There is one word, say, bhuma te samkarmani. That means You should do karma, you should do action. Karmanyadhikaraste. You have to do. It is your duty. And even the Creator has given this power to you to decide how to live. And you have to live through an action. Karmanyadhikaraste. But you have no right for the result of that action. It is wonderful. Everybody does action for some result, and that result should be gainful. But the Supreme Lord, who came 3,000 years or 300, 5,000 years back, he said that karmanyadhikaraste, you have to do the karma. You are bound to do the karma. But don't do the karma and don't think of its result. Result is not in your hand. But if you demand the result also, it will change into sanskar.
Oh, I see.
It will change into, and that sanskar you have to undergo. If it has to change into sanskar, then why should you think for the result? Now the people say this is completely confusing, and perhaps Lord Krishna has missed the right thing saying. No, not that. He has given the exact. But Baba says, to cancel the sanskar of no profit, how you have to do the action? How will you do your action? Suppose that there is a farmer. He is working in the field to grow some corns, and they have to benefit him. They have to benefit others also. He will earn the money. The present day Supreme Entity says, you do karma. Do it beautifully. Do it beautifully. Go on doing beautifully. End it beautifully. If you think of this like this, the result of this action is not in my hand. It may be destroyed by the nature. It may be destroyed by the nature. I may have to remain without the result. Then why should I worry about it? Because the Lord who has created me, He will not allow me to die. He will make some other arrangement. Then why should I worry about the result? But I must do the action. And how should I do the action? I will start the action beautifully. I will do the action beautifully. I will end the action beautifully. That will please my Lord, whose responsibilities of my life, who is responsible for my life. You understand? But at the same time, he says, you have to do action, but don't do such action as may bind you in this world. You must do good action. It means you must do good actions so that if you have to undergo this in the second life, you will have to undergo even in the second life. In the second life, you may feel the pleasure. You may not undergo some pain. So every action you have to do beautifully means in good sense, in good humor, in goodness. And there is no harm in doing that. For that, you have to do sadhana, spiritual practice. Why? Because spiritual practice has the arrangement of these samskaras. How to undergo the samskaras. The spiritual practice known as yoga. Yoga will mitigate the pain if you have done wrong. Mitigate the pain. And it will make you experience sanskars if they are ordinary in one day or in one instance. If they are very heavy, they may cause you through experience death also. Then in sadhana, the guru who is fully responsible for human life, Guru is always Brahma himself, the God himself. The creator of this universe is called God. He is responsible for all this. Then what does he do? Such a great samskar, which is gives such a great pain that one may undergo death. The Guru's grace is there. Guru is merciful. He divides this sanskar into parts and makes you undergo it in parts. In parts, you will not experience very hard pain. You understand? This you should remember. That is why Parampurusha or God has given this arrangement of sadhana yoga for human life to undergo sanskars in less pain. And if they are sanskars of pleasure, you enjoy more pleasure. And at the same time, your aim and goal of life is also met by doing spiritual practice or sadhana or yoga. That you get from the God. Now, the goal of life, I tell you now the goal of life. Atman mokshartham jagat hitaya che. Human goal of life is to emancipate the soul, which is bound by Prakriti, to remain with the human mind as a witnessing entity. I think I have told it in the last this discussion. The creation is attended by certain rules and regulations. The Creator has made human life to follow certain disciplines. If we don't follow the disciplines, we will have to undergo the life of animals. And the animal life, is most painful. So, people say hell and heaven. There are no hell and heaven in this universe. The hell and heaven is in the hell. And if you suffer pleasure, always you experience pleasure, you are in heaven. So the hell and heaven are the alternate reactions of our actions. The nature had such a way of life that all those reactions which a human being earns in his life, Parampurusha or the Lord himself comes to help you in undergoing those reactions, not much painful, and normal painful, and also reactions of pleasure in a good amount. For that reason, Parampurusha has invented a process known as dharma sadhana. So human beings are born to learn dharma sadhana. What is dharma? I think we have done it in previous, in the Sarnath.
We have only touched it.
Anyway, dharma means to attain that supreme bliss, which is only the possession of the Lord himself. He gives you bliss because you want bliss. you want pleasure, you want infinite pleasure. And that bliss resides with him only. He is the owner of that. In order to get that, you have to love him, you have to go near him, you have to go in his shelter. To going in the shelter of the Lord is called dharma. So, dharma is an action. That is called yoga or sadhana. Every human beings must follow dharma. Human dharma is one and one only, no two dharmas. Human society is divided these days into different religions, and they call these religions as dharma. No, that is not the case. Just as human beings take 2 meals or 3 meals to make their body fit, similarly, dharma is a type of food of the soul. We have to perform this process of dharma. We have to attain bliss, which every human being wants. I told you, Anukul Vedanyam Sukham, Sukham Anantam, Sukham Parma Jiva Vritti, Sukham Anantam Anandam, Anandam Brahma Ityahu, Brahe Teshnang Ishwar Pranidhanang Cha Dharma. So dharma is nothing but Ishwar Pranidhan. That is to go under the shelter of the Lord, because this dharma is nothing but infinite bliss, infinite pleasure. Infinite pleasure is called bliss. So we want bliss. In order to get bliss, we have to do sadhana or the process which leads us to the shelter of the Supreme Lord. When we perfectly do it and we are graced by the Supreme Lord, that supreme bliss, our life circle, that is death and birth, will come to an end. That is the aim of life. And in observing this aim of life, doing sadhana, your sanskaras will be also finished, and they will be finished with some relief, and they will give relief to your life. That's all. Thank you very much.